So I'm walking through the halls of Harrah's Casino Resort looking for something healthy to eat. I was going to speak the next morning to a company, to actually a conference, a school conference, to motivate people to be incredible leaders and also take care of themselves doing it. So I wanted to eat something, and I wanted to eat something healthy because I wanted to sleep well. I wanted to digest. I didn't want to get bloated. I wanted to wake up fully energized and full mental clarity so I could be my best the next day speaking, right? Makes sense. So I'm walking through and I'm finding products. Like I found this beef jerky, protein, it's big buzzword now, right? And then I found this dark chocolate bar. I love dark chocolate. I actually like the taste of it. I know that bitter foods have a lot of different nutrients in them and they're just healthier for us. And then they taste good too. And then I found a product that I was eating for years if I was on the go, which I travel a lot around the country, speaking at different organizations, different places, a Kind bar, which you can find in a lot of different places now. So my question is, are these three products healthy? They're touted or they're marketed as healthier choices, as health foods, really. So, yes or no? Let's go through them. This is going to be my next uh, blog post, but I'm going to share my screen. If you're listening to me, just find the link to this blog post and you'll see everything that I'm showing right now. So let me share this. And so the way this came about is, one second. The way this came about is, like I said, I was looking for something healthier and I was on the go. Okay, so hopefully you could see my screen there. This is the blog post that's I'm going to release with this. Three healthy foods that are unhealthy, question mark. Now, I'm not placing any judgment. I'm not vilifying. I'm just saying, if you don't look and feel the way you want, if you're having trouble sleeping, if you're having joint pain, if you're bloated, if you're having trouble digesting, if you're constipated, if your mood swings, if you can't sleep, you can't wake up in the morning. When you wake up in the morning, you're so tired. Any of these symptoms, believe it or not, are related to the food that you and I are eating. So let me show you. And real quick, there's a testimonial here because this is so relevant. This is Pete C. Pete Kostakos, an awesome guy. I recently did the keynote at their annual sales meeting for Cross Country Mortgage. They're really a great group of guys. And I met Pete because I was going to speak to his company, and he became a client because we had a quick conversation about he's eating 90% well and he's not losing weight. He's actually gaining weight and he's feeling a lot of those symptoms that I mentioned just a few minutes ago. And Pete has lost over 30 pounds. And I think it's about 2 months now. We started working together in Thanksgiving. And some of what we did was look at the foods that he was eating, the supposed health foods. I call them pseudo healthy foods. So let's go. Let's do this right now. Kind Bar, right? I just showed you that. I loved Kind Bar when they first came out because look at that. You could see almonds, you could see, like, I don't know if those are Rice Crisp, peanuts. You could literally see food in there. So I'm thinking, wow, that's a good start because it's recognizable. I always tell my clients as a life coach, as a health coach, as a nutritionist, make sure you could recognize the ingredients and look at the labels or the covers or whatever they're called. Number one ingredient, heart healthy almonds, gluten free. A lot of these buzzwords I put in here too. Let me just look at these. So these three products had all the right buzzwords: 12 grams of protein, heart healthy, gluten free, vegan, no nitrates or nitrites. We know that those cause cancer and they're preservatives in a lot of deli meat. 100% beef. But the question is, are these really healthy foods? So let's look. The first thing I do when I am going to buy a product is look at the ingredients. The first ingredient is going to be what that product is mostly made of, and every ingredient that follows is going to appear in that food less and less and less. So by the time you get to the end, it's the least amount. So bars, they're ubiquitous for health foods. You may or may not like them, but are they really healthy? Let's look at some of the ingredients here, and I circled them for you. Natural flavor, So I have to do a lot of this research myself because there's always some new additive in food that sounds like it could be good. And natural flavor is not a new additive. I'm just saying I'm always having to do this research for myself, for my children, the people that I love and care about, and for my audiences. A natural flavor, I mean, what could be wrong? It's a natural flavor. It could be a blend of more than 100 processed chemicals, including MSG. It could be related to allergies. It's processed to get into its natural flavor form. So is it still natural? I mean, it's a question, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Is something that is processed into another form of itself or some, you know, an ingredient is extracted from a whole food, is it still natural? What's your definition of natural? So there might be a lack of transparency. It might be misleading. That blend of more than 100 processed chemicals, I don't know what's in there. I could be sensitive, allergic, intolerant. That could create inflammation. That can create all those symptoms, bloating, gas, problems sleeping, tired all the time, achy joints, and so on. Soy lecithin, so ubiquitous in so many products, it can raise estrogen. Now, this is controversial. There's a lot of research studies that says that soy is incredibly healthy for you. But I think this is my personal opinion, my professional opinion. The soy that's healthy for us is it's in whole form. They're whole organic soybeans. Why do I say organic? If they're not organic, there's almost 100% chance they're going to be genetically modified. I'll talk about that in a second. So the healthier forms of soy that I found are whole soy, like the whole soybeans. We go to a really nice Chinese restaurant, a local one, and my kids love the soybean pods. They steam them, they're sprinkled with a little bit of salt. I hope they're organic. If they're not, then I will buy them organic at home. I'll encourage them to buy organic because I think those are healthy. The soy lecithin, the soy that you and I are getting in products, is not that whole soybean, obviously. So it can raise estrogen. Raised estrogen can be a risk for cancer. If anything is a risk for cancer, I'm just not going to get it for myself and for my children. It just doesn't make sense. And I keep hearing the quote unquote experts saying, but it's in such small quantities. To me, that's a head scratcher. To me, poison is poison. Pesticide, it's in such small quantities. How could it possibly hurt you? Pesticide, side, C-I-D-E. It means to kill living form of organism. Even if it's a little bit, I don't want that in my food. That's just a decision that I make for myself and for my family. Also, like I said, if it's not organic, if anything that has soy in it that's not labeled organic, it's going to be genetically modified. Genetically modified has pesticides, guaranteed pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, at least one or all of those. It can have organ toxicity. We can't digest it. It leads to soil depletion in a lot of studies, and it could lead to antibiotic resistance. I don't want it. Rice flour. So rice flour, and first I'm thinking, sometimes you just got to step back and just have a head scratching moment. Okay, flour I can understand. Wheat flour, okay, maybe it's a binder, it's a filler, but rice flour? And the world's rice is contaminated with arsenic, another poison. Why would I consume something like rice flour in a bar with nuts that potentially can cause me to consume arsenic? So it's just how I'm just sharing some of my mind process to see which products I allow and which products I don't. Having said that, if you follow me, I have an 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, I eat like I'm saying now. I eat clean, man. I want to look and feel amazing. And nutrition, the food that you and I eat, has the biggest impact besides stress and anxiety on our health, on our longevity. So I want to do that. Exercise is important too. Okay, so and then 20% of the times I go crazy. Like with the Super Bowl, I just went crazy because I wanted to. Anyway, so rice flour, high in carbs, low in nutrients, heavy metals, that arsenic that I mentioned, it's got a high glycemic index, which spikes blood sugar related to diabetes. No thanks, I'm not interested. By the way, Mars Incorporated owns Kind. You know Mars, M&Ms, and Snickers. I'm not saying just because they're guilty by association. I'm just saying have the most information possible to make the best decision. Like my client Pete did, all he did was look at some of this and he lost 30 pounds. He's sleeping better. He wakes up more energized. He's has better workouts at the gym. He has more mental focus at work. He's able to find solutions, ways to generate more revenue for himself and for his family, help his employees so that they can be successful for themselves and for their families. You see, like the positive feedback just keeps going and going. All right, next item. Dark chocolate. Again, I love dark chocolate. I like it for a little bit of snack. I'm not a sweets guy, but I do like something after dinner or something as a snack during the day. Maybe before I'm going to speak to an audience, I want a little bit of an energy boost. I can go to dark chocolate. And again, look at this, 12 grams of protein, gluten-free, vegan, like all the buzzwords, contains no palm oil. So you're thinking, all right, finally, man, it's a good product. So, and dark chocolate, by the way, is a great source of serotonin. It's the body's natural feel-good chemical. Serotonin is one of the components, one of the neurotransmitters in antidepressants. So serotonin makes us feel good. And if we could eat a food that tastes good and makes us feel good at the same time, that's a win-win for me. But do these ingredients cancel out the good? Alkalized cocoa. One of my friends is a chemist, and he's the one that told me this. I'm like, man, I've been studying this stuff forever. And alkalized cocoa flew under my radar. And he goes, the way they do that Dutch process, it can kill the benefits of the dark chocolate. So the process of alkalinization significantly reduces cocoa antioxidant content. The antioxidants are what we need to fight diseases, to decrease inflammation, to prevent cancer, diabetes, heart disease, Alzheimer's, et cetera, and so on. That's one of the reasons I'm eating dark chocolate. I eat functionally too. Let me share that concept with you. My healthiest friends and me, a lot of us, we choose a food not because it tastes good, but because it's functional, meaning it's going to help us. It's going to help us maintain our healthy weight or lose weight or increase energy or sleep better or increase our libido, help us increase human growth hormone and testosterone when we're working out at the gym. It's functional, meaning this is going to have a benefit in my life, even though I might not love the taste. That's a powerful psychological tool. If you could eat a food purely because it's good for you and for your family, you have reached a higher echelon. You're in an upper level. Good for you. So if it's alkalized, it could have less cardiovascular benefit compared to natural cocoa. Soy protein, again, that soy, if it's not organic, is going to be genetically modified. We talked about that before. So soy protein has been linked to potentially interfering with thyroid function. I have friends who go to their doctor because they're tired or they can't lose weight, and their doctor says, you have a thyroid problem, you have hypothyroid, you have hyperthyroid, here's a drug. And then they say, oh, okay, so is this drug going to cure me? No. How long do I have to stay on this drug? The rest of your life. That doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. I have to be on this drug for the rest of my life. There's nothing I can do to cure this. And I asked my friend to ask his doctor, what can I do naturally? He got a shrug. Take the drug. I don't agree with that. I think I'm optimistic. I learned this from a chiropractor. I think there's always something in nature to help us heal. And also the power of our mind, what we're directing, who we're surrounding ourselves with. I think all of that, I know all of that increases immunity and can prevent and reverse disease. I'm very optimistic about that. I've observed it in my own life with myself and with family members. Soy lecithin, we talked about before, rice flour and natural flavors again. Okay, so again, is this a healthy product or not? I'll let you make the decision. Or you can buy dark chocolate with two ingredients, cocoa mass and salt. Cocoa mass and salt. The best dark chocolate has two ingredients, maybe three at the most. And you can find it in a lot of supermarkets now, certainly in higher end grocery stores where they're going to be providing you with some of these products. And I'll just warn you, it is more expensive. And that's another thing that bothers me. Why is healthy food so expensive and unhealthy food so not expensive, so affordable? It doesn't make sense. It's kind of backwards. And then the final one is Jack Link's beef jerky. Okay, so I keep hearing about 100% beef and it's great protein and animal protein's amazing. And look at this. I love this. No added nitrates or nitrites. I've been saying this for 20 years as a physical therapist. I've been a physical therapist for 27 years, but at least for 20 years, I've been telling my clients, my family, don't eat nitrates. Don't eat nitrates. We know they cause cancer in laboratory animals. Again, I'm just not going to do something that I know causes cancer. I don't care what amount it is. Just doesn't make sense to me personally. I'm not going to feed it to my kids. So I go to the supermarket and I buy nitrate-free salami, nitrate-free ham. Prosciutto doesn't usually have it. Prosciutto, that delicious fermented Italian pork. It just has two ingredients, pork and salt, and then it's naturally fermented, which is amazing. So I'm just going to buy the nitrate and nitrite free. The fact that they have both, that they have nitrate free sitting right next to their product, same company that makes a product with nitrates and nitrites, also makes me scratch my head at that company's dedication to helping me and my family be healthy. Just another thing to consider. And this also says no added MSG, 100% beef, 10 grams of protein, all the buzzwords are there, right? So if we turn it over and look, this is what I did when I was at Harrah's Casino Hotel, probably 11 p.m. The last place was open, was a small convenience store where I found these snacks. Is the first ingredient is sugar. Sorry, beef and water are the first ingredients. Okay, so that's a good start already. Third ingredient is sugar. Fourth ingredient is brown sugar. Okay, how much, but it depends how much sugar is in this product. It's a couple of sticks. I don't know if you're going to eat the whole thing, but it depends what you ate all day. Did you have sugar all day? Did you have bread? Did you have pasta? Did you have any cakes or cookies? Did you go to Chipotle and have a tortilla wrap, a burrito? That's all sugar. It's all going to break down to sugar in your body and have those effects. Processed sugar is related to weight gain, resistance is related to diabetes, heart disease, cancer, mood swings, joint pain, sleep problems, basically inflammation, and inflammation is at the root of a lot of and most diseases and symptoms, like I just mentioned. Maltodextrin, you probably have seen this in some of the food. It has a potential to disrupt gut bacteria balance. That's really bad. If my the gut's the second brain, right? Here's the first brain. Second brain is the gut. Some research shows it has even more neurotransmitters than the brain. Neurotransmitters, I told you, one of them is serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine. A lot of really good stuff comes from this healthy gut bacteria balance. But if it's out of balance, you're going to have trouble digesting. You're going to be bloated. That's going to affect your sleep. Your sleep is going to affect your energy. Your energy level is going to affect your mood. Your mood is going to affect your relationships, your job. All related. Telling you, just encouraging you. If you have these symptoms right now, look at the food you're eating and just make a better choice. It might be as simple as that to get you over the edge to feel better. That's how it is with every single one of my clients. Every single one loses weight when they start to look at some of the ingredients in their food and they eat the right amounts, which I help them do. So, maltodextrin, gut imbalance, gas, bloating, diarrhea, spikes of blood sugar. No thanks. I don't want that. I might be going out and it might be a whole night of going out with my girlfriend and maybe we're going dancing or we're going to hang out with friends or we're going to have friends over. I don't want gas, bloating, diarrhea, any of that stuff anywhere on my radar. So no thanks. And then soybeans, again, if they're not organic, then they're going to be genetically modified. So and then I encourage you, if you want, to make an appointment to see me. Look, it's daunting to manage all of this on your own. I've been doing it for 30 years and I still before I did this podcast and before I wrote this blog post, I had to go and do the research. Now, the research is also tricky because it depends on who's doing the research. There's a joke, and I don't know that it's a joke. I think it's true. The outcome of the scientific study depends on who funded the study. right? So if Mars Incorporated is funding a study with the Kind bars, what are they going to find? The Kind bar is beneficial. Oh my God, it's going to save your life. It's incredible. Now that's a far out story, but is it far from the truth? There's Marion Nestle is a really respected dietitian. I think she's affiliated with NYU. Check out her blog. She's always posting scientific studies about claims about the benefits of food, and then she digs really, really deep and finds out who funds it. More often than not, the funding is coming from the company that wants the positive outcome because it's selling the product that has the ingredient that's studied in the study. You see how it's all related? I'm not calling anyone a liar. I'm not saying they're purposely trying to deceive you. What I am doing is going right to the source, you and your family, and what's important to you. You make the best decision for you, regardless of the marketing. The research is hard to navigate yourself. It took me hours to navigate because if you do a Google search about soy protein, I'll put it this way, if you put in the benefits of soy protein or soy lecithin, tons of positive scientific studies and articles will come out. Soy lecithin, soy is related to decreased risk of cancer, people living longer, being happier, etc. If you type in harmful effects of soy lecithin, you get a whole other set of answers. Which one is right? That's when a life coach or a health coach or a mentor comes into play to help you navigate, especially if you're struggling with your weight and sleeping and pain, chronic problems, chronic stress. It just might be some of the food you're eating, coupled with the stress that you're having, also affected by the exercise you may or may not be doing. It's all related. Any of this resonates and you just want to have a conversation, reach out to me. I just love talking to you because you're going to share something in that conversation that's going to help me and maybe be my next blog post. Don't worry, I don't have to use your name or call you out or anything like that. I just like to make the connection because that's part of my purpose. And if you and I can work together, that's awesome. Also, if you know a company or a school district or a group and organization that could use a presentation like this, that's not all doom and gloom, that's fun, it's engaging, and it's interactive, let me know. I hope that helps you like it helps me. Until next time, I'm Peter.